cabbages. They look decent. There's broccoli over there. That's a blueberry right back there. A raspberry over there. I think it's a blackberry. Blueberry. Kale. Something's eating one of the kales. These are my lettuces, hopefully coming back. And I think it's a slug. Although it could be a caterpillar, but I feel like I've seen slime. And I just don't know where it's... Okay, well that is caterpillar poop. Right there. I'm pretty sure right there. Alright. But let's just check and see if it is a... slug. I'm not seeing anything. Maybe that isn't a blueberry. Oh no, it's a raspberry. So I have two raspberries here. They're just different kinds. Don't ask me. I don't know, variety's the spice of life, right? So here. Oh my goodness, look at these peas. Look at all those peas. Green beans. Various other sundry things like spinaches and broccolis and yadas and yada-yadas. I think I missed the boat on my bok choy. That's okay. But in there, at least, you know, got some yellow flowers. I'm big on yellows and oranges in the garden. And blues. There's so much green and brown up here. But you could see we've got all the ferns coming in. I do let the ferns come up wherever they want to. I think ferns are great. They were here long before us. Gotta respect that. But adding, because when you look at the original soil, I mean, you can just see how nutrient poor, because this is an old riverbed, folks, which is why there's so much rock and clay. And it's just very, there's just no nutrients. And you have all these evergreens, which pines and things like that, don't really give a lot of good composting because you don't get it gets very acidic. And you don't have the deciduous trees necessarily where you get all the leaves, which then break down and feed your plants and trees. Anyway, but the difference between adding Deer Creek's topsoil, which I guess it could be anybody's topsoil, but it maintains the moisture, especially as we head into the warmer. Today is supposed to get around 72, which I think is probably the highest we've been at. We had another 72 day. I just don't know why those are not growing. But I may want to harvest that lettuce pretty soon. Okay, I can't walk this way. Let's see how we do all this. Gotta get it the right way with my... The other reason I want to get all these weeds and all this cleaned up is we could see that everything is starting to germinate, and that just means more weeds. So I'd rather get it before everything is already a little bit too late. I want this cleaned up. This is a type of sedum. like one of the coolest, funkiest looking plants. It's going to hopefully make a really nice ground cover. But if you look at it, look how many different types and of texture and colors and variations that you have in this sedum. I'm sure I have the tag here somewhere. But just, I mean, sometimes it looks prehistoric. You know, sometimes it looks like conifers. I don't know. But I'm a fan. That looks like a relative right there, that guy. But it looks like it's just like one part, kind of. It's like one note. But this guy is just like texture and color overload. I'm into it. Not really color, but shading. It just adds a nice variation to always the pinks and purples. You know, and sometimes you have to do that, but let's see if I can make this as painless as possible for y'all, so you don't get sick. Whew, boy. Alrighty. To the end because I do have things to do, and I can only stay on my foot because it really swells up, and that gets to be kind of painful because then it's like swelling up against, you know, the contraption, the boot, das Boot. So I saw that there were some comments. I haven't looked at them. I know, folks. It's just when every minute is kind of an ordeal, I just tend to eliminate things that aren't necessary, because doing the things that are necessary are so arduous, so difficult to do. Just your everyday tasks. Like anything you can think of, it's going to be 10 to 20 times harder than it was before you had a surgery. And hopefully this will be my last one in quite a while. That was my goal, was just to kind of get everything out of the way. And then, you know, so I feel very fortunate that so much work has been able to be done on the yard, because this was my vision, this was my goal, this is my whole reason for getting this property. And to see it transformed and brought back to life is just very, very cool. And yeah, so I just try to stop and find positivity and find enjoyment and find pleasure and find color and vibrancy and aliveness, which isn't a word. But you can really see how things are filling in out there. And I'm probably going to be planting some other things. I'm going to keep that wild out there behind the rhodos. So basically where my cypresses are, where the deer fencing is. So right behind the cypresses, right at that point. I think for the most part, yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I just don't want it invading my flower beds. So very exciting. Hopefully he comes tomorrow. He has gone back to his full-time painting job, which I understand. Oh, there's the chime. I guess that's a sign. So let's see if we can. Let you look at my nostrils for a minute. And just look up at the sky. It's just a short walk. I just wanted to get closer to the chimes. It really is pleasant. Oh, shnikes. Oh, shoot. A wasp just got in. That's what I forgot to do. Okay. There you go, folks. screen open. And I definitely cannot get up without. Oh. Yeah, I have to do it in a certain way, folks. Fly in right as even getting up these 2 little steps, folks. Yeah, this is what I fell up my first time right after surgery. When I came back from surgery, I fell up the steps and I got caught with this rigid cast in my other leg, and I could not right myself, and that was a bit of a scary moment. Let's see if I can just put you in this planter. Oh, what do you see? Oh, hello. So oh yeah, but feel that sun. It's a nice sun. It's not too hot. It's really, really pleasant. I should get a hammock. I need to get one of those hammocks and put it right over here on the pea gravel in the shade for like July and August. That would be sweet. I think the sky's the limit on what I want to do. I wouldn't mind kind of doing some kind of, I do want to do a fire pit. Heaven only knows where I'd put it. I guess I could put it in between, in the middle of one of the fruit tree areas. Sorry for being rude and drinking and eating in front of guests. But, but I have to get to doing some of this work, and I have to do my yellow jacket and my fly traps, which work really well, by the way, in case you were wondering. So I'm going to be doing a thingy, a window box of osteoportums. I'm going to be doing, what are these? Pansies. Got a lot of pansies just because they're so versatile. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And then dianthus, and then one of geraniums, one of dianthus, one of probably fuchsias, although I may do fuchsias kind of like interspersed. So I want to get going on that. And I'm not going to be able, you're not going to want to stick around and just stare at that. Plus I want to turn on my music, which for copyright reasons I can't have in the background, because otherwise YouTube says it's a no-no. And I need to deadhead a bunch of stuff, folks. That's the secret to success, is deadheading everything. Especially pansies. Just get such a greater production. But be that as it may. So politically, I mean, you know, you guys know as well as I do. I don't care who you are. I mean, right is right, wrong is wrong, folks. And what's going on is just wrong. It's just, I don't know. I feel like we've lost all sense of civility and decorum. And, you know, the whole Gulf of America thing. I will never subscribe to that, so good thing I'm still not teaching, because I wouldn't teach it that way. Nope, I would not. And yeah. Anyway, I don't want to bore you, but so I have to go in 4 weeks for my final post-op. I just hope that I can drive within the next. My goal is within the next 3-4 days. I tried one other time because maybe early last week. It was really painful because I can't do it with this flat boot thing. It just takes up too much space. You just don't have enough. I'll get into a wreck. It's really about the pain on the pad of the foot, the front part of the foot underneath, which is where the surgery was done. So it's when you press down on a clutch, you're not really pressing down with the heel, you're pressing down mostly with the pad. And so that's where the pain comes in. So I'm hopeful within the next 4 days, should be able to drive. At least in some limited fashion. I still can't, like if I could get into a sneaker, but I tried getting into a sneaker, any of my sneakers, and it's just not possible. So it's just not happening. It just won't fit. And I'm not going to go buy a shoe. So I just want the swelling to go down to where I can put on a sneaker. I think if I have a sneaker, I can drive with the clutch. Anyway, I will let y'all go. This is Mark out at Positively Peninsula. Don't let the crap in Washington get you down. And I mean Washington, D.C., not Washington State. Keep the faith, keep the peace, be kind, and I want to give a couple of shout outs to my younger son. Jared just got a promotion, and he is now Dean of Students, which is phenomenal. Congrats. And also my niece, and I forgot this last time, I apologize. But it's so hard to think with this pain and discomfort. But my niece, and I don't have a large family, but my niece had a baby girl. Her name is Morgan. So congrats to my niece and nephew-in-law, or whatever. And just congratulations. That's fantastic. So now I have two grandnieces, I guess. God, grandniece. Anyway, so just good things happening, and that's what you need to do as you go through your day, is find that nugget, find that kernel of positivity, that good, that one thing. And if no good thing happens in a given day, guess what? There's always tomorrow. Yesterday will never come back around. Today will never come back around. So my advice is to not go down that rabbit hole. I have a feeling it's going to be a summer of protests. I would love to get involved in that. I just can't drive, so I don't even think about going anywhere at this point. But I'm really concerned about this Armed Forces Day. I think it could be a veiled attempt at taking over the government, because it's going to be in Washington, D.C. And again, that's a conspiracy theory that I really don't want to think about, but I don't put anything past some of these morons. Horrible, mean, bully morons. But it just seems very reminiscent of Putin. And I've said it before, if you don't think that he is following Putin's playbook, then you're living in La La Land, because that's who's instructing him on everything. I mean, you just see it, and everything's kind of, it's just delayed a little bit. And he didn't put it into action his first term, and so now he's doing it. And I think we need to be strong and stalwart, and we need to resist, and we need to you know, we need to step up if what we value, if we want it to continue. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, I'd like to have my waning days, you know, done in a peaceful, democratic way. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I don't know what happened with that weird little short first video. I must have touched something when I moved. Maybe it hit the crutch. So I apologize, because it'll probably end up being 3 videos, because for some reason it doesn't download if there's like a certain length. Anyway, thanks for being with me. It's a gorgeous, glorious day, beautiful day. I'm gonna get to work because I can only handle about 20 minutes at a time, just because all the blood, gravity, makes all the blood go down to the feet. But be good, go forth, be kind, be generous, but be thoughtful, and be respectful. But don't be a pushover, especially when it's the difference between right and wrong, good and bad. Right and wrong are pretty clear to distinguish. So that was something that I always wanted my students to just really know, that your decisions, your choices matter, and to always try to make the best decision possible given the circumstances. That's all you can ask of anyone. It's when you knowingly make a poor decision and maybe a rash decision that you come to regret it. So anyway, folks, be kind, don't bully anybody. Peace out. I will take a look at the comments. I'm sorry. I just don't go on the computer very much. I know you're thinking like, whoa, you're just sitting around, which is true, but I can't handle looking at a little screen for very long. It just kind of gives me a headache. I'm not a big tech guy, but I hope everything is going well wherever you're at, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I don't know when I'll next do a video, but maybe after this weekend there'll be even more amazing improvements, and then I'll do one next week. All right, so this is Mark out of Positively Peninsular. Peace out, be good, take care, bye-bye.